Welcome to the show where we uncover the blueprint of success and the business tools you need to achieve the American dream, helping people turn passion and dreams into money-making machines. This is Strictly Business with Chase Channel. Now, here's Chase.
Hey, go get Chase. Seriously, his show's starting at a new time. No, man, he's done made the big time now. He's prime time. Chase, get in here. Chase! I've got a song in the queue. I'm just going to punch the button.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie.
Well, you already know who it is, Jackson. My name's Chase Channel, and this is Strictly Business. In the studio, we have Mr. Sid Michael. Sid, what's happening?
Rockin' and rollin', brother.
Can you believe I finally hit the big time?
Man, you know what made me believe it? When I saw you dancing in your way in here.
Well, I just said, we're moving on up, moving on up.
To the east side. But in your case, you're on the north side.
Manager Lacey at the station said, he said the ratings are so good, we got to get you in the prime time.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, if you're not in prime time, you ain't no time.
Well, we do the show for the listeners, and the great news about it is we're a little closer to quitting time.
I was going to say something about that. I mean, because now you're right close to quitting time on Friday, it's kind of hard to be hardcore business.
Well, the good news is that I happen to have a little in with the show writer, so we can do whatever we want. And we're going to talk all things business. Sid is with us, as always, and we're going to get he's an ultimate closer. So we're going to talk a little bit about sales today. We're going to keep it a little lighthearted, play you some nice tunes to get you through the weekend. But I think the name of the game today is we're going to talk a lot about closing the deals.
Yeah, we can talk about, like you talked about. I mean, we can talk about soft sales, assumptive sales. We could just talk about closes. That'd be a blast.
Well, here's the deal. Because this show's called Strictly Business, we talk about all things business. But the truth is, maybe you're heading out to the Cody's Saloon this weekend. You need help closing that deal.
Chase, only you go to that, Cody.
Closers, closing skills, you got to have them, whether it's in life or business.
Yeah, I'm not trying to close under 21.
Well, I think it's, I think it's
at most bars I go to, I look for wedding bands. There, I look for X's on the hand.
Well, that is a good indicator, but, you're kind of a regular over there now.
Only because I watched you play pool for half the night.
Well, I do enjoy playing pool. Sometimes it takes your friends to drag you into town, and we already got some text rolling in on the Victory Honda text line. It says, we like going to Cody's too, but I have an X. Well, there you go, Sid. You already got some fans coming in. If you want to get in on the action, you can. As always, go over to facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show, or you can shoot us a text on the Victory Honda text line at 731-215-0158. Or if you're feeling froggy, you want to give us a call, the number to call, 731-499-3865. So tell us.
You think we can go to the tap, and then if things get going crazy, then we can mosey on, roll down the hill?
Well, here's what I think. I think that the time that we've spent out here in Jackson, that we could do a full-on nightlife review.
I think we could do a whole eating and nightlife review.
Well, there's no denying we know our food.
Well, I mean, if we're going to sit here, a lot of people are arguing about sports all day. I think we should stay in our lane and argue about food.
Well, food, everyone's got to eat.
Well,
it's just become more difficult for me with my vegan diet.
Vegan schmegan. Let me ask you something straight up. Tell me one restaurant in all of Jackson that'll pull the tails off of their shrimp.
Well, I know of one. I only know of one, Picasso's.
Well, because I thank the lady for doing it.
Well, I mean,
I got tired of watching you eat the tails everywhere else we were at.
Some people like the tails.
This redneck was eating the tails everywhere we went until Picasso started pulling them off.
Listen, if there's a little breading on there, I'm not going to go digging around looking to see what's under there. I was raised you just eat it and don't ask questions.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Man, I think, and I mean, we're giving a shameless plug here, but I tell you what, I think Sundays at Picasso's with the little Polish girl that's being our bartender or whatever, man, that's the best Sunday you can spend in Jackson.
Well, it's kind of my Sunday routine. It's not too crowded. You can kind of slide in there and just, nice comfortable seats there.
Yeah, if you ever want to just get a quick seat, just sit at the bar because ain't nobody drinking right after church.
Well, or before.
Or before.
You just never know, Little Sunday brunches out there. So Sid Michael's with us, and he is, in my humble opinion.
Whoa, Chase just pluraled me again.
I think that you're a great closer.
On convincing you that you think I'm plural?
I didn't say plural.
You said Sid Michaels.
I said Sid Michael is. There's a difference.
Here we go. This is gonna just break up the whole question of this. I want you to call in, write, email, text, put on the Facebook if Chase has introduced me as Sid Michaels or Sid Michael is.
Listen, everybody's going to hear Sid Michaels, but I've known you long enough to know it's Sid Michael.
We need to have some user or listener participation here.
So from now on, I'm going to have to, when I reference Sid, I'm going to have to say Sid Michael.
That's my name.
He is with us today, and
That's
give you
right.
like a nice 30-second pause just to make sure it was clear.
Hey, listen, I'm big enough to be two, but I'm one. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I'll second that motion. Tell us about how to close a deal, Sid. What's the basic art of making somebody say yes?
Well, let's just talk about setting up the deal, right? I mean, so when you're talking about business, right? So whenever you meet and greet, which is the first step to the road to the sale, you want to meet and greet people, right? And when you meet somebody and you go, "Hey, can I help you?" and they say, "I'm just looking," what do you say next?
Well, it depends on what you're selling, but you could say, most of my clients start out looking. You could say looking for something a little newer, a little nicer. You could say, a lot of different things.
Yeah, you say, "What are you looking for?"
There you go.
Right. Open-ended question.
One of my this is how I did it before I was trained, right? I didn't know. I just knew they'd say, "I'm just looking." So I would always say, they'd always say, "We're just looking." I would say, "Oh man, that's great." I would say, "Do you know what you're looking for?" I'd say, because it's really kind of confusing where all the stuff is around here. So if you kind of let me know what you're looking for, I'll at least point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Then they felt like just saying I'll point you in the right direction didn't mean I was going to be on their hip the rest of the time.
Yeah, you were teasing them.
I was teasing them. But once they said, "Well, yeah, we're looking for the chords," I'm like, "Well, those are right over here. Follow me," and then you're in.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. But always to find out what they're looking for when you meet and greet, because you want to break the ice, right? And you want to build the trust factor, right? But let's just say it's not the people always walking on the lot in a retail situation. Sometimes when you're calling people, right, you might not have the same scenario because you're actually calling them and bothering them, right?
Right.
So what you want to do when you're meeting and greet, building trust, is you want to take the pink elephant, it's pink, not purple, pink elephant out of the room by saying what?
I don't know. You're the master.
Well, you would say, "Hey, Chase, how you doing? My name's Sid Michael." If you're asking yourself if I just cold called you, I did. But let me tell you why. Because after 30 seconds, you're going to have enough education to make a sound decision on whether or not this is available for you, or we'll part friends and get off the phone.
You know what I found the best way for me personally with cold calling is, and I'm very effective at it, is I just have such an authoritative approach,
right, that
we're supposed to be talking.
Yeah.
That I don't have a hard time. And usually I will give my name like it's it's the title.
Right.
Like people give out their.
So give me an example.
So like as an example, I would say, like if you answer the phone, I would say, "Is this Sid?"
Yes.
"Hey Sid, it's Chase Channel over at Victory Honda. How you doing?"
Awesome. I don't drive Hondas.
Well, I would hit him with, "I understand that," or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times where it goes is just being more sure.
You know what's awesome about having a name like Sid?
What?
Is not a single cold caller ever says a Sid there.
Yeah,
they all ask for Michael first, and they might say Side, like that. And I love it because I'll pronounce right back what they say. Michael Side isn't here. And they know they're talking to the guy. Right. But they just know they pronounced it wrong, and so they're fighting it in their head. What does SYD spell? What does SYD? And unfortunately, when they try and correct it, they always come back, well, is Michael Said then? I'm like, Michael Said is making a blizzard. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I just think that in general, when you talk about making the cold call and you get somebody on the horn, the first thing I always do is I'm straight to the point.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Yeah, but take it off the table. Did I just cold call you? I did. But the good news is what you're about to hear come out of my mouth is going to be worth the best 30 seconds you've spent all day with anybody that you wasted time with.
And what Sid's referring to there is what we call buying yourself more time. You got to earn the next amount of seconds
right
with someone, and that's how you do it, is by giving them.
You have 8 seconds. That's the attention span. There's
something else that Sid does all the time, and I don't do this, and it almost makes me uncomfortable when Sid does it.
Oh,
but every time
hit on the girls with the X.
No. Every time we go anywhere, you always and they say, "Hey, how are you today?" What do you say?
Awesome always.
Awesome. No, you don't say it how you say it.
Awesome always.
Yeah, he basically makes a formal announcement at the checkout at the grocery store that he's awesome always, and he's always referring to every one of them by name because they got their name tags on, puzzling them. They're trying to figure out, how does this guy know me? You're just a social butterfly at the checkout.
Do you watch them all take that deep swallow right after I say awesome always?
Well, they don't know what's coming next. They're like, what is this guy on today? We don't know, but we want some of it.
Yeah, well, maybe.
So you're a musical guy, and last week I promised a few songs. So we got a few minutes before we have a break, but just so I'm prepared, what would you like? Because I feel like, we're really in a celebration mood. The weekend's here.
Well, there's no question what song you play.
We finally hit the prime time.
We're prime time, baby.
Well, what would you like to hear?
I want Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang. Okay, I can handle that. So Sid goes in. Tell us why you make the announcement at the at the checkout, because I'd like to understand that a little bit better.
Why exactly I say awesome always?
Yeah, let's hear the logic.
You want to know the truth?
Yeah.
Because I hate talking to people.
Really?
Yeah. No, here's the deal. You come within 3 feet of somebody or 10 feet of somebody, and I don't want them to set the pace. I'd rather put them on the back of their heels and set the pace for them so they just shut their mouth and walk by. Hey, how you doing? Great. Awesome always. And you watch them take that big old lump throat, swallow as they're walking by because they're afraid to respond back because they don't know where you're coming from.
See, I just keep it real short. They must think that I'm like antisocial. I don't even look at them. I just stare down at the keypad. And they'll say, like, did you find everything? I'm like, I think so.
Well, how social is that, man?
Well, the problem is, and this is something that a lot of people in sales can relate to, is when you come home after a long day of interacting with the public, being social, putting yourself out there, making sure everybody's happy. You just don't want to while you're checking out, paying for your toilet paper.
I'm going to set you straight. You asked for it. I'm going to set you straight.
Okay, hit me.
That's because you don't love what you do.
That's not true.
That's a fact.
No way.
If you love what you do, it is not a problem.
There's no problem.
What, you wore out from doing what you love, what you do?
No, I think that I put more into what I do during the day than what maybe is,
Please.
Just saying.
Whatever. Dude, listen, if you love what you do, seriously, because I love people, really. This
is coming from the guy that tries to get me to retire every day, tells me I'm going to working for the man.
You are working for the man. You're selling your soul for the man. Anybody who has a job, don't make me go off on it. Don't make me go off on it. And nowadays, times, if you're not working for yourself, you're a sucker. Because let me tell you something. The second you go work for the man, they gave up on you.
You think that's the case?
I think either you're going to be making your dreams come true or you're going to be making their dreams come true. Take this job. There's your song.
You know what what's that saying that says, boss, I make a nickel, boss makes a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
That's exactly right, man. I'm telling you, you'll notice, and then I'm not going to say it anymore. The only reason why I go by your work is to eat all the ice cream sandwiches. That's all I care about. That's all they're good for.
Well, Sid thinks I hate my job, and
you don't hate your job.
I don't love what I do.
I don't think you love what you do enough. I think you got to love helping people.
Well, there's parts of what I do that I love, but there's parts I don't.
Well, then why are you so wore out when you get home?
Well, it's just taxing. You know
It's
how it
not
is.
taxing. You're letting it be taxing.
Well, I think that sometimes
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And until you love what you do, you won't know what that feels like.
Well, I can tell you this. I've spent 10 years doing it, and I still like it. Still wake up. I don't feel like I'm working.
Well, all right. As long as you can sell yourself, you can sell the rest of the world.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
Sid's professionally retired. He retired at what age?
Since 2004, I've not worked for anybody.
Was that the first time, though, or did you work for yourself before that?
No, I was thrown into business. I would have procrastinated forever. I was scared to death.
We're going to take a short break, and while we're on the break, Sid's going to give me some counseling on how I can continue to push through the workday. If you want to join us, so you got questions, comments, or you think that working for the man's no fun, head on over to facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show. If you're just now joining us, you can always catch the replay tomorrow morning from 9 to 11 right here on 93.1. Or as always, you can, if you have an iPhone, here's the easiest way to listen to the show. There's a purple button on all of them that says podcasts. We always put it up on podcasts. All you have to do is click the button. It's totally free. Type in The Chase Channel Show. The show pops up. You want to make sure to click it. It adds it to your library. You hit subscribe, and then each week when the new show's up, it'll do a push alert to your phone and let you know that it's there so you can hear it. We're going to take a short break. What song was this? We got the Kool and the Gang?
Kool and the Gang.
Kool and the Gang coming right your way. We'll be back.
You're listening to Strictly Business with Chase Channel. Thanks for listening to 93.1 WTJS, the talk of Jackson. Don't go anywhere. Chase will be back right after this.
It's the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event, and it's the best time to buy at Victory Honda of Jackson. From now through the end of the month, you can drive home any select vehicle in stock, and you won't have to make a payment until 2019. That's right, no payments until next year. Plus, we'll give you 125% of the book value for your trade-in. For complete details, visit victoryhondajackson.com. Then come into Victory Honda on Highway 45 Bypass and drive home a brand new Honda and make no payments until 2019. And get 125% of the book value for your trade. But hurry, this won't last long. Come in today for the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event at Victory Honda.
With approved credit through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Payments deferred by lender. Offer valid on select models. Offer does not combine. Plus tax, title, license, and $4.99 doc fees. 125% of the block book wholesale value minus restocking, reconditioning, and mileage fees. Subject to a clean Carfax report. Not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 6/30/18.
Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Yeah, yeah. Celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate. Come on now. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right.
Cool in the Gang with a little celebration. We're celebrating hanging out with the Chase Channel Show gang. Mr. Sid Michael is in studio with us today. Uncle Sid, how you doing, man?
I love it, man. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to apologize to you because I can't lie to you. But because I love you to death, to the end, is the only reason why I tell you the truth. That's a fact.
And when you say that, is that in referring to that I should have an early retirement?
No, I'm just saying you need to do what you love because you're too damn talented to not. That's all.
You got to think of it this way, okay? If you could go chase butterflies around and make $1 million, well, then go chase butterflies. But I've had a standard motto my whole life. I say, I've always been in it for the money. And there was a shifting point in my life when the money quit mattering. And what I mean by that is that I feel like that in business, you realize that money doesn't make you happy. I always thought it would. I mean, I literally
No, it doesn't make you happy.
There's just no fulfillment in it. You get to the end of it and you say, now, I'm not going to say money doesn't make your life easier and there's things you can buy, but it's really pick your stress.
It's a big Band-Aid, and it is pick your stress.
Because, you know, if you're not working, you might not be stressed about work, but then you're stressed about, you know, I can't pay my bills. So
that's right.
It's a double-edged sword. And, you know, I think that in my opinion is learn what you can while you can, make the most of whatever opportunity you've got, but always be ready for the next one.
When I was your age, I was working for the man.
Tell us about the time when you made the decision to leave and what that was like in your life.
Well, I'll
just give the backstory too, so everyone understands what you were doing. I'm 31 years old.
Yeah.
Uncle Sid was 32.
Yeah, I was 32 years old.
When he decided, and he was doing the same thing I was doing at 31.
I was a general manager, number 2 Kia store in the country.
Of a car dealership.
And Mitsubishi, even though they had no value. But
and that was that was a long time ago, because Uncle Sid's old.
I'm 44.
But tell us about, seriously, what was that like? What shift happened in you? How did you do it?
All right. Well, I'm just saying, all right, so you know. Like, I walked out back behind the dealership, and I remember exactly where I was standing, looking up at the sky, and thought, what have I done? Because I thought, you know, the whole time throughout the car business, I got into sales. I was a used car manager at 23. I was GSM at 25, in finance by 27, a general manager at 29, right? And I thought, you know, I'm on the career path of where I want to go and what I want to do. And I can, you know, I'm proven, you know, that I'm that guy that, you know, that I'm supposed to be. And at 32 years old, I realized I would never be a baseball coach. I would never be a dad that was home, that could be a dad. I'd be an away father. And this is this is before having kids or a wife. I'm thinking this. which, by the way, I've obviously epically failed and don't have a wife or kids right now. But I'm just saying, I knew that I wanted to be able to be the best dad possible if given the chance. And I wanted to be the best friend possible given the chance. And I couldn't do that when the number one thing in my life is to go work retail hours in the car business. So I chose to step away from it. And not only that, not saying that you don't have a little bit better deal and you're not, set up right in what you're doing, right? A lot of because you're a very talented guy. I've always told you're above average at everything you do. You've gotten guidance to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes as Uncle Sid made a little bit. And, let's just face it, man. I remember when I looked up in that sky, I thought, you know what? These guys don't appreciate me. They don't care about me. They don't really care what it is. It's all about the money at the end of the day. And you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go after them, and I'm going to sell them. And then I'll get paid what I think I'm worth, not what they think I'm worth. And, within 5 months of being in business for myself, I had a better month than the best year I ever had in the car business.
Well, I don't think that that's normal. I think that
you're better than that.
Well, I'm not saying that obviously that, working for yourself is not something that I'm an advocate of being an entrepreneur and working for yourself. I also think that in life, there's certain paths that when you make the decisions to pursue them, like for me, you got to look at risk versus reward. Right.
I totally understand what you're saying. And it really is pick your stress. Because, I've had months where I felt guilty that were so well and everything was moving, momentum was good, everything was great. And I've had months where I'm like, man, I should have just kept that job. You know what I mean? That's part of it. But, man, I tell you, we're both gamblers.
Yeah.
I love being the underdog.
Well, and I've had some of that in my life. I think a lot of it too is you get so used to it. You know what I mean?
Like, doubt me, watch my smoke, son.
Well, we have a few texts that came in on the Victory Honda text line. Looks like one of them says, "Congratulations on the new time slot. Love ringing in the weekend with you." How about that?
That was nice of them. Thank you.
Oh, this is a good one. 93.1, the best talk radio station in West Tennessee. Signed, James. We appreciate you, James. The Victory Honda text line. Love ending the week with the Chase Channel show. When can we start the week with you? Signed, Fangirl.
Nice.
Well, I would do.
So what did she mean? She loves the end of the week, and then when are you going to starting the week?
I think, yeah. It sounds like they won't. She wants me to do more than one show.
Well, if you worked for yourself and had your shows, then you could. But too bad. Sorry, Fangirl. He sold his soul to the man.
I'm working for the man. Here's the best one. The Victory Honda text line. Love the music. Uncle Sid is the best DJ. Signed, MC Hammer. If you want to join us, you can always text us on the Victory Honda text line. The number to text is 731-215-0158. Or if you go to facebook.com/the Chase Channel show, you can always shoot on the messenger there. You can shoot in any questions or anything you want us to talk about on the air. We love hearing your feedback, comments, and we don't really care for the concerns. But
what was the text from Keith I saw?
Which one?
There's one I saw from Keith or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't see it here. Oh. I mean, you got MC Hammer texting in about your DJing skills. You're a little all over the board, though. Last week, we're listening to
it's okay.
Mark Broussard and Stairways to Heaven and a little bit of, who was the other one we
Drake
played?
White.
Yeah, Drake White. We had the Drake White Marathon.
Man, we're going to have to play him today. You done got me in the mood now.
See, Sid wants to help. He believes that we should help all these upcoming artists get airtime.
Well, I think anybody working hard should get recognized. I mean, that's just who I am, man. I like hardworking people. Surround me with hardworking people.
I thought you didn't like people to work for the man.
I don't care who they work for.
You want them to be independently
Hold
entrepreneurs.
Hold on a second. Dude, I don't care who they work for. I don't love and care and am buddies for 10 plus years with them. I care about you.
Well, I mean, I feel extra special now.
I'm sorry to make you blush, son, but I'm just letting you know.
Well, I just think that, it brings up a good point because there's so many people. And here's the crazy part is I got nothing tying me down. there's a lot of people with wives, with kids, with responsibilities.
That's right.
That it makes it even harder to ever make a decision to walk away from something.
Oh, buddy, I've told you, and I've said 100 times. You know how many people got a $10,000 a month in bills, and they don't have a choice to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think both of us could pretty much do the debt-free scream if we needed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, like some of the riskiest moves I've made, man, I can sleep in a ditch. I ain't got to worry about kids. My dad was 19 years old back from Vietnam and already had 2 kids. He didn't have that choice. And I saw that and thought, not me, son. That ain't going to be me. You know what I mean? And that's why, I chose to, be single and have kids. And I'm not saying I won't ever have kids and won't ever get married. It's weird, man. I'm 44 years old and I keep thinking I'm going to have kids when I grow up.
One of the things that's always fueled me, though, is the accomplishments and the accolades that go with what I do. You know what I mean? Like when you win awards and you've done this and you've done that. I mean, I've always enjoyed the recognition side. And I think recognition's so overlooked in the workplace in general because a lot of people will do more for recognition than they'll do for money.
I totally agree. And if you need the recognition, then I think that's important. And I do love giving recognition because it's a lot easier to pay than money.
Well, and sometimes everyone just needs, they just need a good old attaboy.
There's nothing wrong with that. And see, I probably make the mistake and do that for my friends and do that for my girlfriends, and then they start believing it too much.
Well, I think sometimes that can be the case. And, I think like you talked about last week, supporters and reporters.
Right.
I mean, I think that in life, like me, I've always looked out for me. So it's tough that when you make, like in business, you have to start worrying about, are all your people going to be paid? Are they making a good enough living? Are they providing what they should? You start shouldering all these other...
It's lonely at the top.
It's very lonely at the top. And in fact, I've thought about writing a book about it.
Yeah, you should.
Because I think that leadership's lonely.
Yeah, it is lonely. So is entrepreneurship. I mean, seriously, suicide rate's high among entrepreneurs because you ain't got nobody saying good job. Everybody doubts you. When you're doing good, if you even mention the word Gucci, they think you're bragging. You know what I mean? It's an odd little world. And then everybody who's your friend really is just trying to chomp at your heels to get your time.
What would you say the most gratifying part of what you do as an entrepreneur has been?
The fact that whenever my buddy Chase calls me and says, hey, can you come up to Tennessee? Blah, 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 blah. I jumped in the truck and came.
Freedom. Yeah.
That's what it all is. That is success.
Well, and I don't disagree. I think freedom's a fantastic thing, and I think that we all make choices that shape our lives, and you build the result. I think so many people too, and this is a mistake that happens in life and the workplace. They get so invested in the path they're on. They think, well, I've been 10 years with this company. How could I ever go start back over somewhere else?
Dude, I watched my dad do 26 years with AT&T. He got a watch band, not a watch.
A watch band?
Yeah. and he didn't get any sort of any sort of credit for his family even to get good, decent. I mean, they still waylay me on phone bills every month. You know what I mean? They do stuff that if a car guy would have done, would have went to prison.
Well, you don't even get a family discount?
No.
Really?
No. My whole family worked for the Bell Company.
So I bet your dad was proud of that watch band.
No, he wasn't.
He was mad about it.
No, he wasn't mad. He did what he had to do. My dad was a hardworking guy, and he was very focused and did what he had to do to make sure me and my brother never did without. I mean, you would never know that we were probably lower middle class. You would never know. You just wouldn't know.
Well, a lot of that came from, your dad's parents were part of what was known as the silent generation.
Yeah.
And, they didn't talk about money.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about sex. There's certain things that you just didn't talk about.
Well,
in today's world, I mean, it's like, that's all people talk about.
Right.
And it's, that's changed, but that generation's one of the proudest generations, I think, of all.
Yeah. Well, pride can get you in trouble.
Well, and I think it can, there's no doubt about it, but I think
especially in business.
I think that, when you look at somebody who's conducted their life that way and shouldered it from A to Z, I mean, you got to have a lot of respect for somebody that...
Oh, dude, there's nobody going to tell you that they don't... Like, I love the older generation. I mean, I just love wisdom. You know, I respect my elders very, very much, and I know you do too, man.
Yeah.
And you know, like they can tell you the solutions to complicated problems in so few words. It make it seem so simple that you wonder why you complicated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love listening to, you know, older people. I think I told you there was a lady that lived across the street where I grew up named Granny Kate. She was 96. And I'd get off the bus and go sit on the front porch with her for hours. I just love listening to that lady tell me stories. And I learned a lot from Granny Kate's. That's a fact. But the point of the whole matter is, and I don't disrespect or look down on my father at all. I think he did a better, I understand him more now that he's gone than when he was around. But truth be known, you know, we're in a different times, man. The cheese has moved. So therefore we got to move. And you got to be self-educated, self-responsible, and you got to take care of yourself, and you got to put yourself in the best position. Listen, it is pick your stress. You know what I mean? Like there's months that, you know, that I feel like, you know, man, I if I just worked for somebody else, I wouldn't have to care, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm 24/7. I have no downtime whatsoever. But on the flip side, I can live anywhere in the world. I can work less than 3 hours a week, and I can make more than an executive income.
You know what song I always play when I'm feeling sorry for myself?
Oh, Lord.
You know what it is?
Luke Combs what?
No, I play
Chris Stapleton.
Jamie
who?
Johnson's. It might be lonely at the top, but it's at the bottom.
That's a good
you
song.
know what I mean?
That's a great song.
We're going to take a short break. DJ Sid mixing the tunes, so there's no telling what's about to play, but we'll be back right after this.
You're listening to Strictly Business with Chase Channel. Thanks for listening to 93.1 WTJS, the talk of Jackson. Don't go anywhere. Chase will be back right after this.
Taking care of business. Taking care of business.
It's the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event, and it's the best time to buy at Victory Honda of Jackson. From now through the end of the month, you can drive home any select vehicle in stock, and you won't have to make a payment until 2019. That's right, no payments until next year. Plus, we'll give you 125% of the book value for your trade-in. For complete details, visit victoryhondajackson.com. Then come into Victory Honda on Highway 45 Bypass and drive home a brand new Honda and make no payments until 2019. And get 125% of the book value for your trade. But hurry, this won't last long. Come in today for the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event at Victory Honda.
With approved credit through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Payments deferred by lender. Offer valid on select models. Offer does not combine. Plus tax, title, license, and $4.99 doc fees. 125% of the black book wholesale value minus restocking, reconditioning, and mileage fees. Subject to a clean Carfax report. Not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 6/30/18.
I like me better when I'm with you.
You're listening to the Talk of Jackson. For the hottest shows in the Hub City, keep it locked right here on 93.1 WTJS.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the best.
That's what I want. I love that song. It's on the Quiet Storm.
Well, you know, Uncle Sid's been bringing you the tunes. DJ, everyone's loving your musical selections. The Victory Honda text line has been blowing up.
Well, I'm glad that they see the music that I do, man, but that was an oldie but goodie.
You know, one thing I always love about you, Sid, is that you choose music from the heart.
Well, of course. That's what art is, man, when you relate with your heart.
So one of the things that we're talking all things business, as always, and sometimes we get a little off topic. We started off talking about sales, talking about a little cold calling. We're getting you to the weekend. We're almost to quitting time, so just bear with us a little bit more. And if you already left work early, good for you. But one of the things that I want to talk about is what I call your BS.
Your BS?
Your belief system.
Oh, okay, good.
You like that, huh?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we all have is a belief system. And some of us defend ours more than others. Some of us choose to stand up for ours more than others. But I feel like that our country's experienced the belief system more over the course of the last 500 and really 600 days, because leading up to that election, it seemed like so many people were picking sides and the country became so divisive and just so really fragmented in how, you remember that, Sid?
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, that text line is just blowing up, isn't it? Yeah, well, yes, and here's the truth. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, the majority of the public, unfortunately, are sheep. I mean, that's the truth. People are followers. There's not many of us that are leaders. There's not many of us that wake up every morning and understand that when I wake up, either I'm going to be a sheep or I'm going to be a wolf. I'm
going to go out into the world and blaze my own trail.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go get what's mine.
Well, it's scary to do. It's scary to do because you have no certainty.
At one point, because if you're a sheep and you believe in your belief system that you've been taught your entire life says, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. Work my 9 to 5, work my dead-end job, pay my bills, do this, do that. How do you become the person who goes out and blazes that trail and says, you know what, I'm going to change my belief system?
You wait until they go to college.
But what's the secret? You're a trailblazer.
There is no secret.
You just do it.
Well, no, because I'm not putting that person down. There's a place for those people, and some people are there by circumstance. My father was one of those people. Do you think I look down on my dad?
No.
No.
You think he just did it because he didn't know any better?
No, well, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. I think he did it because that was his responsibility, and there was no coming up short. There was so much pride in that man that he was going to give us the best life he could give us, regardless of the pressure, the stress, the pain, the inconvenience, and the uncomfortability that he got.
Here's what one of the things I think is really eye-opening when you look at it.
And Chase, I don't mean to interrupt you, but dude, we weren't born into money.
Right.
Most people are 2 weeks from financial catastrophe. So not everybody can sit there and take 2 weeks to make their mind up. You get back from Vietnam and you got to get a job. Did you know that they made my mother go to an interview when my dad got hired with the Bell Company?
That's insane.
Isn't it? I mean, it's just different. It was a different world back then.
But what's changed is at that time, what your dad did, that was like respectable.
Yes.
You've lived life the right way.
That's the way a man should have been.
That's
that is
the
a
way
man.
a man. Yeah. And so I feel like there's a big shift in our country today and with the times that there are.
Trust me, if we talk to my father right now, God bless his soul, he might not say Sid's a man. You know what I mean? He'd think I was an idiot, to be honest.
Well, and it's crazy to me when you see that, and I think a lot of people are realizing that education is not for everyone. That, they'll finance you, $100,000 in student loans, but if you tell someone you're going to go get a loan and become an entrepreneur, you get laughed out of the room.
Yeah, now see, that's a problem.
It really is a problem. To me, it's sickening. You know what I mean?
It's sickening. I think that's sickening. I think the brainwash that our media does is sickening. I think they influence, create, and promote racism and a lot of other things that should just be distinct. Dude, let's move on. You know what I mean? Here's the truth, and I say this with all integrity and all sincerity. Love conquers all. It takes You know, if evil was black, and I'm not saying this in a race reason, but I'm saying if evil was black, you can never change that color with any other color other than white. White is going to dilute that, and white is love, right? You know, pure.
Yeah.
So it takes love to change things. At the end of the day, before you go hating others or hating on others to justify your decisions or your positions and stuff like that, you should love the other and accept them for what they are, who they are, and what they do, and love them past that. Dude, you know, when we were at Picasso's last Sunday, there was a kid that came out, and I don't know what his dad said to him, but he started crying out there. Dude, I grabbed him. I said, dude, man, I hugged him. I said, stay strong. Your dad will need you. Because the kid needed a hug. You know what I mean? Now, he could have freaked out. He could have flipped out. I meant to tell you about it. I didn't even tell you. But he was outside crying by himself, and nobody needs that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying go give money to the homeless. I'm not a philanthropist. I'm not going to start giving out cars like Oprah. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do that, personally, one reason. But two, everybody wants to be a philanthropist. Nobody wants to earn the money to get there. You know? But I mean, when you see a fellow human who's struggling, or a fellow human who truly is giving effort and taking it wrong, man, sometimes that's what you do. You go over and you hug them.
A little compassion straight from Uncle Sid.
Well, you know, I'm just saying.
You know, you bring up a great point. I'm not denying it. I think that, you know, there's a lot of truth to that.
There is.
Here's the easy part, and what's messed up in the world is it's so easy to insulate yourself in your, you know, private neighborhood while your kids are in their private school, and you don't have to deal with the world's problems. You know what I mean? It's so easy to ignore them.
Well, that and if you, let's just face it, if you truly had a set rules and parameters that if anybody ever crosses this line, they're cut off, you'd live a lonely life, because everybody crosses lines. You just got to know, okay, well, that friend's the guy that's going to try and hook up with my girlfriend, so therefore be careful what girlfriends you bring around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't just go cutting everybody out like that. You got to love them. Love them for who they are.
Right.
But understand what they're doing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of abuse that goes on from that if you're not careful, because you do got to have parameters and lines, and you do got to set your own ways. But at the end of the day, love conquers all, period. At least in my world, it does.
Well, you know, I think that's a lot of wisdom speaking.
Well, maybe.
Mostly because you're old, but...
Buddy, I'm in my prime.
You know, they say, what was that thing you keep saying about the elders?
Dude, I feel like I'm 25. First off, I mean, most of the people I look at that are in their 30s look like struck matches. All right? I'm a good-looking man, and I'm 44. I ain't got a crow's foot, whatever. You know what I mean? I take care of myself.
Well, you know, I think that's just part of the what do they call that? The good living life you've had?
It's just because you ain't going to get no manual labor out of me. I learned that at a young age.
You do Botox?
No.
Uncle Sid's with us. We're just chatting all things business, talking about life, keeping a little lighthearted because it's Friday.
It doesn't mean if there's a little eye serum laying around, I might not try it.
Well, you know, I tell you that I'm really enjoying this. I know it's only a few hours later, but I'm enjoying the new time slot.
Are you?
Just feels different.
Well, everybody's getting off work, and they deserved it. They worked hard all week. Now they're getting off. Now they get to have a good time, see their family, go love their kids. Man, that's what life's about.
How do you make the most of your weekend?
It's impossible. When it's Friday, it's like, man, I can't believe it ain't Sunday yet. When it's Sunday, you can't believe it's already Sunday.
Yeah, the time goes by quick on the weekends.
When you work for the man.
Well, for me, Friday's like Sunday. Saturday's like Monday morning for me.
Yeah, see, my life is like all the weekend.
Every day's a weekend for Uncle Sid.
That's right, because I got that freedom.
How is it living in paradise?
It ain't paradise. It's just freedom.
What would you say? What is your paradise? Like when you got nothing to do all the time, what is it?
Well, you can
what's
get in
a day
trouble
off
if you
like?
got nothing to do, and I do have something to do all the time. See, you remind me of my ex-girlfriends, man. That's funny. When you get good at things, you make it look so simple. I had a girl live with me for 2 years one time, and while she was leaving, she goes, "What do you do anyway?" I'm like, "You think all this is just created magically?"
That's too funny.
Well, I mean, not everybody can conceive marketing. You know what I mean? And so they don't understand.
And they don't see you leaving for 8 and 10 and 12 hours a day. Although you might be at Nordstrom's, shopping for your girl, with your girl, and you might have to take a cell phone call for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, so I am always working in a way.
Yeah.
And if my phone rings at 5:30 a.m. and it's a guy, Brad Dixon in Phoenix, Arizona, wanting to brag to me about how him and his dad are loving the new program, I take the call.
Yeah.
So
more action coming in on the Victory Honda text line. Seems like if you want to join us, you can. It's real easy to find us. All you got to do is go to facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show, or as always, the Victory Honda text line, 731-215-0158. Let's see what the text that came in had to say here, Sid. I'm with Sid. Love wins. How about that? They're just receiving your message out there, Sid.
Yeah, well, that's good.
You know that one of the things that I will say that I realize has changed me a lot is my cat.
Night and day.
Yeah, I never.
Night and day. When you got all mushy about the fox on the golf course.
That fox was by himself.
I know, with all them ticks all over him.
Felt terrible for him. Wanted to take him home, get him a bath, get him some medicine.
Well, you know what? You've seen him twice now.
Yeah.
You didn't bring him no treats, so you ain't loving him that much.
I didn't think he'd be there this
Buddy,
second time.
I'm not going back to that place without something to feed that.
You going to take fox treats and just hope he's there?
Yeah, I'm going to go buy some cat treats and give them to the fox.
Here's the problem is, and I learned this while I was at the ranch in Malibu, is that because I went to throw a paracord out, and they had a meltdown on me. And I said, well, I mean, it's biodegradable. It'll just... And they said, but animals could pick that up and eat it, and that's not something they find in their natural element, so we don't do that to the animals.
Well, this guy in his natural element, because he stood within 3 feet of me and sat there and licked his back leg.
Well, are you going to go over there and feed him every week then?
You dang right I'm going to go feed that little thing.
You heard the commitment to Sid to feed the fox out at the Jackson National Golf Course?
He's so cute.
He is a cute. You think it's a he or a she?
I think it's a she for some reason, but you kept calling it he. Just because you're chauvinist, but
Well, I am not.
Yes, you are.
My cat's a girl.
Because you think that all cats should be girls.
That's not true. She just happens to be the queen of the house.
She's the queen of that double-wide trailer, huh?
There's one other thing that Sid's really...
Or the queen of Memphis.
There's one other thing that Sid's really good at, and he's a little, what would the word be here? You're kind of, I don't know what the word to describe.
Why did you make that face when you went to say whatever it was?
Well, because you believe you can talk to animals.
Well, yeah, I'm a whisperer.
Give us like one of the little...
I do sound funny.
Give us one of the samples of how you communicate to the animals.
Being a 6'3", 330-pound man talking to Booty.
I've got some videos of it, but let's just give us a little preview.
I know, because you sit there and make fun of people behind their back.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Are you going to give us just a little...
You want me to talk to Booty?
Yeah.
Booty, come here, baby. Come here. You got to be sweet to him.
Sid, he's always been you've had animals forever.
Yeah, we grew up with a bunch of cats. Dude, tonality is everything. Talking about sales, practice that tonality and you'll be surprised what happens. You just got it naturally. That's why you don't even notice.
Well, and that's one of the things I talk about a lot in sales is that when I went through some of the sales trainings I've been through, you just kind of learn the name for what you've been doing. When you're just naturally good at it.
Yeah.
Like they're telling you that, well, NLP is this, and the RAS does this, and this is mirroring, and
before you know it, you're doing it naturally, and you always did it naturally, didn't know it.
They gave you the official name for it,
dude. I'll tell you something real quick. I did this training one time on the road to a sale, and I did broke it up into steps, and on the final step, I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if I did a live sales call, and then went in and showed them the road to a sale. So I was like, well, I got to think about it, but then I had this mock up. Example I did at an event where I did a closing for some people, and I thought, well, I'll just go through there and see if I went through the road to sale. Dude, went through it perfect. Didn't even know I was doing it. Wasn't recording that to have for that. But when I went to go train, I said, well, let's just find this video. And we go through the video, and you can see me go through meet, greet, demo, walk around, trial close. It was awesome.
When Sid mentions the steps of the sale, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but in the auto world, but in all sales, there's what we call the road to the sale, which is basically the steps by which we train everybody that this is how you get to the sale, which is the road to the sale. And it starts with the meet and greet. There's different variations of the next steps, but they're always pretty much the same. For for like my dealership, we do qualifying wants and needs is next.
Needs analysis, yeah.
Yeah, we get that because we feel like it's important to show the client we value their time
right
while they're with us. So,
and when you get into advanced closing skills, master closer, you'll actually, when you're doing the needs analysis, you'll ask them loaded questions that'll make them answer certain ways that when you go to close, they have to contradict their wording in order to say no.
well, and that's one of the things a lot of people have always asked me. They'd say, Chase, well, how do you sell all these things? You know, what is it that you say? And I always say there's not like some word you say and it just fixes itself.
Right.
And they say yes. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's everything you say leading up to it.
That's right.
Is when you finally ask for the business is how you make that deal happen.
And not to mention, and I want to say this, I know we're working on a hard stop here, but I want to say this. First off, I want to get Chase and myself, I want to volunteer to do an hour show on how to buy a car and save the most money.
Hey, I'm all for it.
All right. Secondly, I want to say this. Don't forget what you do once every 4 years. We do 20 times a day. So make sure you have fun when you go buy a car.
Well, and that's a fact. That's repetition is just one of those things that you'll always become great at.
And I don't know about you, but because I do so much repetition when I used to sell cars, that I literally knew it was nothing that could come out of that person's mouth that I didn't know. I had the rebuttal that was going to settle them down, sit them down, and understand what's going on.
So we're almost out of time for this hour, but before we got a few seconds before you know what time it is.
Well, it's 5 o'clock whistle.
It's coming right up on 5 o'clock. But before we get there, since you've been kind of rough on me this first hour.
Rough? I told you I loved you, man. I told the world I loved you.
What would you say some of my
You
most
haven't said
positive...
you loved me yet. You said what you love about me, but not that you love me.
Well, you know I love you.
Well, I heard hesitation.
The jury's out. What do you think my best characteristics are?
I've told you you're above average at every dang thing that you've ever done.
Well, there you have it.
And you're going to be the best if you care to be the best at anything that you want to do. But you're above average at everything that you've ever done.
Well, I appreciate it, Sid, and you know I love you.
Yeah.
With no hesitations.
Yeah. Forced.
It's 5 o'clock, so you know what that means.
93.1 WTJS Alamo, the talk of Jackson.
Quitting time. Who says it's quitting time?
I said it's quitting time.
I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time at Terra. Quitting time! Quitting time!
It's quitting time, quitting time. Time to disassemble, it's assembly line. Lord, I love punching out like I hate punching in. Woo! Hot damn lava, it's quitting time again. Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. Working for a living, working for a living, working for a living,
I'd like to be hanging out, but I got to get moving on. Woo!
Everybody's working for the weekend. Gonna sit down in the kitchen and fix me something good to eat and make my head a little high, make the whole day complete. 'Cause we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. Well, pass it to me, baby. Well, pass it to me slow. We'll take time out to smile a little before you let it go. 'Cause we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. Sit around the kitchen and fix us something good to eat and make ourselves a little high, make the whole day complete. Cause we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. Well, every night and day, if I can help it, we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on.
Nothing matters but the weekend. From a Tuesday point of view, like a kettle in the kitchen, I feel the steam begin to brew, switching to ride.
It's gonna be a rock and roll weekend. 8 o'clock when the show begins. Get on the phone, call up all your friends. Tell them it's going to be a rock and roll weekend. Rock and roll.
Man, I tell you what, that's the Woo Weekend. Man, there's only one way to change numbers, change anything, change your outcome, and that's to amp the energy up to the Woo Weekend, baby.
It's getting I got sick of my job, sick of my wife, sick of my future and sick of my life. I packed up my car and I got some gas. Told everybody they could kiss my ass. I'm going to party town. Yeah, yeah. I want to party down. Yeah, yeah. I want to have some fun. I want to fool around. I'm going to party town. Well, my time will done falling on the feet of the floor. Crazy people knocking us, I wanna talk more. Let me in, baby, I don't know what you got, but you better take it easy. This place is hot, and I'm so glad we made it. So glad we made it. You got, give me some of it. 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 Give me some of it.
Boy, I tell you what, I know one thing. I'm glad we made it to, Jackson. Finally made it to the weekend, the workday whistle.
It's the Woo Whistle,
The
baby.
woo whistle, baby.
Yeah, I want to hear Chase give us a woo.
Woo!
Woo!
I don't know about you guys, but we're excited. And, you know, you're listening to Strictly Business, as always, now in the Friday time slot from 4 to 6 right here on 93.1. If you're just now catching the show and you missed the workday woo whistle, that's okay. Be sure to tell all your friends and family about it so every Friday they can tune in and join us to get a little woo in their life. What do you think, Sid?
I want some of them to call in and hear. I want to hear the woos.
We want some woo callers. So if you want to get in on the action, you can. As always, Facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show. Or if you want to call, we want to hear the woo whistles, right?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So if you're excited it's Friday, give us a call. The number to call, 731-499-3865. Or as always on the Victory Honda text line, 731-215-0158.
Chase, seriously, talking about business, life, just living in general. There's only one thing, we talk about this when we go to Tunica, you know what I mean? Those cards are in that deck and they're going to play out the way they're going to play out no matter what.
Right.
The only way you can change the outcome or your experience of that time is with energy.
I know one thing. It's impossible to be mad when you just did a nice big old woo.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't you feel better?
I feel great.
I feel great, too.
The weekend's here, and as always, we talk all things business. We've chatted a little bit about everything over the course of the
Imagine if you did a woo every day before you went to work. You'd crush it.
Well, actually, one of the trainers we had a long time ago, his whole thing was he would say when you wake up in the morning, as soon as your alarm clock fires off, you jump up, you plant your feet, and you say, "Today's going to be a great day." Just this. And so anyway, so everyone was doing that. So the whole thing around the auto mall forever was every time someone would see you, they'd scream, "Today's going to be a great day."
Right. Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, hey, whatever it takes, man. I know this. It's better than sitting there feeling like a victim and sad and sucking up and hating life and making excuses and being a absolute vampire of emotion in every room you go into, and you don't even realize that you're sucking the oxygen out of the place. How many people know somebody like that?
Well, negativity in the workplace is one of those things that it's just the worst because it brings everybody down.
Yeah, it does. I think the lights flicker.
Literally. You can tell the energy difference, too. When you walk into a business, right away.
Yeah.
Like, is this a morgue or is this place got it going on?
Yep.
Yep. I think that's one of the coolest things. But speaking of business, let's get back to business.
All right.
And we'll talk a little bit. What do we want to cover? I mean, we've talked about sales. We blew the worked whistle, the woo whistle.
Hey, well, work is over. Business is done. All right. I mean, we can still talk a little bit about business like stories or whatnot, but I don't want to be like hitting people to train and all that stuff, man. It's Friday. The work whistle's done. Let's slide out.
So we're going to take it a little easier this hour.
Yeah, let's take it a little bit easier.
A little easier on everyone. So it's time for story time. So tell us, because speaking of stories, I would kind of like to know, because Atlanta I lived in for 10 years prior to moving to Jackson. You're an Atlanta native, which if you don't know, nobody is from Atlanta.
Nobody. No. I got real parents, and I was a native of Atlanta. I was a very rare person.
It was so funny because literally the whole time I lived there, you never meet somebody from Atlanta.
Right.
I mean, it's a total transplant city.
Yeah,
but
it is.
What was it like growing up in Atlanta? I mean, it grew a lot.
Yeah, it grew a ton. Well, where I was born was in Stone Mountain, and we moved out to Gwinnett, which is just east of there. And, like when I went to high school, I think there was 11 quad A schools in my county, which was huge. Like Gwinnett County hit 1 million people. There's like 27 5A schools in that county now.
That's incredible.
Isn't it? It's amazing.
Doesn't Buford have a great football program? And it's like is it single A or double A?
Well, they've remained single A. They're the only high school out of all the 27 that remained single A the whole time. I mean, yeah, they got a great program.
They win every year, the national championship.
They
right?
should. You know what I mean? But yes, they do have a good program. I'm not putting them down. Yes, they have a killer football program. However, a lot of that's got to do with keeping yourself a single A the entire time.
Yeah, well, especially in that market. Don't they have something where like transfer rules where they can that are also more liberal so they can get good players in?
There's a bunch of that stuff, and I don't know what all it is. I know in Little League, if you had Buford and Decula on your schedule, you went ahead and knew you were going to be 2-0 at least.
So what about the city itself? I mean, I grew up spent a lot of time in the North Burbs there going through my early 20s, but what about, what was downtown like?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but Atlanta originally was called the Web City. And all of downtown used to be covered with like a grate where these electric trolleys and almost like bumper cars. And a lot of people don't know that. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you some hints about Atlanta that are cool, right? First off, they got the St. Regis, you got the Mandarin, you got, JW Marriott and stuff like that. Those are all real nice hotels. Don't get me wrong if you want to pay $600 a night and blah, 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 blah. But there's one called Georgian Terrace. It's right across from the Fox Theater. And a lot of people don't know this, but the entire cast of Gone with the Wind stayed there the night before they premiered the movie in the Fox Theater.
Wow.
And before they built the Georgian Terrace, that's actually where the mayor of Atlanta's house was, right? It's right at North Avenue and Peachtree, right? Or no, Ponce de Leon and Peachtree, and one block over from North Avenue. But which North Avenue is where the varsity is, and Georgia Tech and Georgia State is now, right? But
man, I mean, talking about history, right? And you can stay in this place like $150. Yeah, I think $190 gets you the 2-bedroom suite with washer and dryer and kitchen. I mean, literally. I mean, it's the coolest place in the world, and I mean, to know the history of it. But here's what's sick. Is the foyer that you go into, like in the front of the place, is actually an extension of glass over the original building, right? So like the back wall of the like, you know, meeting area in the front or whatever
Right.
is actually the front of the building of the original building. I mean, it's so cool, man. It's very, 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 you know, historic. You're right up from Mary Mac's. Mary Mac's was the actual restaurant. When you came back from World War I, you came back with a bus ticket and a meal ticket to Mary Mac's.
Because there's a big rail yard near there, isn't there?
Well, yeah, there is a, well, not really too close to there. That's more a little bit more north. But yeah, you can, I mean, we used to ride the choo-choo all the way up to the Chattanooga choo-choo, you know.
So, because I've talked about the varsity story on here, and I really didn't know it all. I kind of guessed. So, can we fact check what was the deal? He got thrown off the tech campus.
Something cool, and I would not do it justice, so I can't tell the story. But didn't we get your buddy the whole VHS? I'm sure you never sent it to him, and you probably watched it.
Yeah, I think basically the deal is that, you know, he got
kicked out of school, and he said, "I'm going to own this whole block," and he does. And he did, you know, and now he's gone. But, you know, it was a really cool story. But I don't think we can do it justice. Let's tell it next week or something.
Well, one thing that we do
it's
justice is food.
I love food.
So what's the must-haves because right now, Air Choice One, fly right out of Jackson, you can fly right into Atlanta, and it's sold out every day. So there's a lot of people from Jackson throughout West Tennessee that are flying to Atlanta. So you take the family down to Atlanta for the weekend. Where's some places that they have to eat? Now, I know one of them you're going to say, but I'll let you tell it.
For barbecue?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fat Matt's.
Fat Matt's Rib Shack. Line up the street, though, so make sure you got a little time on your schedule.
Yeah, that place is awesome. Not only is that some of the best barbecue you'll ever have in your life, I mean, ridiculous. I mean, you get the rack. You can order anything you want there as long as it's the rack of ribs. Like you literally just pull the bones out and eat it. I mean, it's sick. And then the craziest thing is you'll think that it's a homeless person coming off the street, but actually that's the blues player that's going to get on stage and just rip it in there.
And it's a small setting,
extremely small.
It's so cool when you're in there because they have the live music going.
Yeah, they're jamming.
Another prerequisite when driving to Fat Matt's is you have to put on the Motley Crue song.
Because you go by Tattletales.
Because you go by Tattletales, and it says "Girls, Girls, Girls" right on the front, which is
rocking in Atlanta at Tattletales.
Rocking in Atlanta at Tattletales. So you know, so you're getting the whole rundown here. When you're visiting Atlanta, this is how you got to do it. What are the other hot spots to hit if you want some good food in Atlanta?
Well, I mean, we got the best pizza. I mean, I've got friends from New York that are like, "Oh my gosh, like we got some of the best pizza ever at Antico's."
Is that the one downtown that stays open until they run out of dough?
Yeah, dude, is that the coolest scarcity ploy you ever heard?
I mean, literally, yeah.
They open at 11 a.m. and close when they run out of dough.
You know what I hated about that place?
What?
They don't make nothing off the menu.
No, it's
They're
five pizzas. And
I was like, I'll take that one, but leave this off. They're like, which one do you want?
Yeah, no, there's no change in it.
Yeah,
there's no change in it at all.
Just can you leave it? He's like, which one did you want again?
Dude, listen, you know, he's got 3 restaurants there now. And one's kind of like family style Italian. If Snellgrove was complaining because, you know, they got more kids than they know what to do with. You know, they go after church and they went down there and, you know, had like 14 kids with them. And you're not allowed to share appetizers. You're not allowed to share nothing. Each kid was like $19. You know what I mean? It was killing them. So,
what about, because I've had a few good steaks down there.
Hey, you know what's sick about Antico? An average pizza, if you go to Papa John's or Hungry Howie's or any place like that, they cook at 500 degrees. And normally when it goes through that conveyor, it takes like right around 5 minutes. Antico's cooks his at 1,000 degrees, 90 seconds.
Holy. So it's some specialized oven.
It's all real special. And, you know, and it's funny, you read his reviews and stuff, you can tell it's like his competitors because they're like, it's not authentic. He uses canned tomatoes. Well, how are you going to get tomatoes from Italy, bro?
Like,
Right.
I don't see the dry ice tomato package coming.
Well, and the canned tomatoes they use, those cans are from Italy.
They are from Italy.
You can tell.
Oh, the whole thing, dude. It's a whole different experience. It's weird because
they put the real mozzarella on there.
the mozzarella. Hey, listen, when people come in from out of town, I take them to eat Fat Mats, and then I take them to Antico's for dessert. Like, for some reason, man, I mean, I know you can crush out pizzas. I can crush out pizzas, but, dude, for some reason, that pizza just doesn't sit heavy on your tummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can eat, like, a lot.
Now, if you go over to Nancy's and get the Chicago style that's about this,
yeah, then you're in trouble.
then you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're in real trouble.
What do you think the best steak in Atlanta is?
Well, a lot of people are going to say Bones, right? But I disagree. I think McKendrick's.
Is Ocean Prime still open?
No.
No.
But that was good because they had the Pittsburgh.
It's not like the 30-year aged or the 10. I mean, it was some ridiculous.
You know, they had a Pittsburgh. They had it's the only place you get a Pittsburgh New York strip.
What's the other one? Chops. That's kind of smoky, small, and it's got like the.
It's not small. It's because they have the downstairs.
The downstairs,
yeah, the lobster bar. But there's a private club within Chops.
Really?
When you go back to the kitchen, there's a door. It looks like a door to a castle, and you go through there, and it's trust fund haven.
So when you were in Atlanta, you were there when the Olympics was going on.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Let's see, 1996. Yeah. Well, they start changing road names.
Really?
Yeah, they start changing all the road names and and cleaning up downtown to make it look nice and it was a reason to never go to Atlanta. I think I broke up with my girlfriend that went to Georgia Tech that year.
Well, you just didn't want to go down there?
Well, heck no, man. And back then they even had they had a thing that originally was called Freak Frat, and then it turned into, man, I forgot the name of it, but man, it was absolute insanity. It was God, I forgot the name of it. Now it's moved to Miami. But basically, there's like there's like 5 really good, Morehouse, Spellman, Morris Brown, all that stuff. Well, years ago, a few guys, they couldn't really go on spring break, so they went to Piedmont Park and had a good time or whatever and barbecued and whatnot. Well, for whatever reason, these kids must have been popular or something, because the next year it quadrupled in size, and the next year it quadrupled in size, and then the next year it quadrupled in size. And then it became where Atlanta was like the number 1 spring break spot for any black college, right? Which is cool. They're having a good time. But, dude, I mean, like, I remember my senior prom. Like, we had people jumping on top of our limo, getting pictures taken. There was I won't even tell you how bad it got, but let's just say they had a lot of fun.
Where did you go to high school there?
Shiloh High School.
And that's towards Stone Mountain?
It's past Stone Mountain. Like, we moved.
What is Stone Mountain? I mean, I remember it there,
It's
but
the
I never
largest
really...
piece of exposed granite in the world. We take it for granite, too.
What did they put, like some, was it like Mount Rushmore? They got some carvings on there?
The same gentleman who carved Stone Mountain also carved Mount Rushmore.
Now, I do know one of Sid's favorite things to do is the Stone Mountain Light Show.
It was a laser show?
Yeah.
But only because that's where you hooked up with chicks when you were younger. But yeah, no, the laser show, if you haven't ever been, it's really cool, and it's the same show every year. But yeah, it's really cool. You get to sit out there and watch the laser show on the side of the mountain, and they play music and stuff. I mean, it's history, man. And on the side of Stone Mountain, there is Confederate generals that have been carved into there and whatnot. And they, you don't realize. I mean, it looks like just a beautiful little picture, right? But you don't realize you can set. They say you can set like an F-150 on his ear.
Wow.
And they're talking about taking that carving off, which I hope they don't, just for history
Is that
reasons.
part of the whole statue removal movement?
Yeah, statue removal, and and they changed the flag and all that, which it is what it is, and I think there should be change, but I don't think you should destroy. By no means.
Well, it's tough to look back and say that well, maybe they were on the wrong side of history, but there's so much history before that. They don't go tear down the Queen's Palace because they conquered somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just, to me, I think there's probably a more tasteful way of doing it all and I mean, history's history. We can't change it. It's there.
Yeah. I mean, get your time into the present, quit worrying about the past.
Well, and that's a fact. So what about the now? One of the cool things about Atlanta, and I know this.
Now you know Atlanta wasn't always the capital either.
Really?
No, man.
Was it Augusta?
No, Savannah.
Savannah.
Yeah.
You know, I never made it to Savannah except for driving by. I heard it's a cool place.
Really? Yeah, dude, I think it's probably one of the most unique places in the world, but very different. And you never made it to Savannah?
I drove through there, and of course, you know,
you didn't see it.
I was Googling the drinking ghost tours.
Yeah.
Where you can they have hearses with the tops cut out.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and you can ride around and.
Oh man, you're just gonna buy it all, aren't you?
Yeah, you can.
You're that guy.
Booze it up on the in the hearse.
I went to the mobster tour in Chicago. It was similar on a double-decker bus.
What was that like?
They took us to where the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was.
You know, I was surprised.
And they also took us by a church, and you could still see the Tommy gun fire right up the front of it. But let me tell you about the St. Valentine's Day Massacre real quick. They said, see that empty lot there? This used to be a building. See where that bush is? That's about where they all lay dead. It was a joke.
I was shocked at how clean Chicago was when I was there.
Chicago's a good city.
Chicago's
a good city. It's good food. And honestly, I love Midwest people. They're just good people.
When you hear on the news, you know, Chirac and more people are, I mean, you think you're going into a third world country and you get there and
there is that. No, the South Side and stuff. Yeah, no, there's some bad areas of Chicago, as there is in any city.
Right.
You know.
Well, you don't want to be in South Atlanta. I know that.
Right. You know, I watched the 10 worst neighborhoods in Atlanta, and Bankhead won the prize on.
So this is kind of funny. What was the name of Sid worked at a Chevy dealership that was off of one of the worst streets there.
Yeah, it was off of Stewart Avenue, but nobody would go to Stewart Avenue, so they changed it to Metropolitan.
So they kept changing the name of the street.
Yeah, people would go.
so that people would show up down there.
Yeah, they said the girl dressed up like McDonough was not a trick-or-treater.
Sid Michael's in studio with us. We're hanging out, and I said Sid Michael is in studio with us.
You just corrected yourself.
No, I always say Sid Michael.
You just said Michael's again, and
it's Sid Michael.
You think if you convince yourself, then it makes it right? Come on, please.
Well, we got a lot more action for you. We got Sid's secret sauce that we still have to go through, and so he's got some secret sauce brewing up for you for the week. We're going to take a short break, and is it okay if we play a little Luke Combs this one?
I like Luke Combs.
I mean, you're the music director here, but I just want to. Would that be okay?
Yes, it is. Yeah, okay, I love that guy.
Little Luke Combs coming your way. We'll be back right after this. Let's do, I don't know. I'm going to surprise you. It's going to be a surprise.
All right.
You're listening to Strictly Business with Chase Channel. Thanks for listening to 93.1 WTJS, the talk of Jackson. Don't go anywhere. Chase will be back right after this.
It's the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event, and it's the best time to buy at Victory Honda of Jackson. From now through the end of the month, you can drive home any select vehicle in stock, and you won't have to make a payment until 2019. That's right, no payments until next year. Plus, we'll give you 125% of the book value for your trade-in. For complete details, visit VictoryHondaJackson.com. Then come into Victory Honda on Highway 45 Bypass and drive home a brand new Honda and make no payments until 2019. And get 125% of the book value for your trade. But hurry, this won't last long. Come in today for the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event at Victory Honda.
With approved credit through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Payments deferred by lender. Offer valid on select models. Offer does not combine with tax, title, license, and $4.99 doc fees. 125% of the black book wholesale value minus restocking, reconditioning, and mileage fees. Subject to a clean Carfax report. Not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 6/30/18.
You're listening to the Talk of Jackson. For the hottest shows in the Hub City, keep it locked right here on 93.1 WTJS.
This is my kind of town. This is my kind of place. I wouldn't mind hanging around for more than just a couple days. I got a 12th floor room with a killer view of the empty Astrodome, a tab at the bar downstairs. But all I I can think about is home. I got my new boots covered in red dirt. I don't mess with Texas t-shirt. And a Lone Star postcard postmarked to missing you. It's got the biggest sky you've ever seen, the coldest beer you'd ever drank. But I still feel like I landed on the moon, 'cause it ain't got you. Houston, we got a problem. You should have seen 19th Street. You should have seen a midnight rodeo, the way them saloon doors swing when they line dance to Copperhead Road. Something about the air down here that'll make you feel the way all them cowboys do. I wish I was an outlaw, but all I can think about is you. I got my new boots covered in red dirt. I don't mess with Texas t-shirt. And a Lone Star postcard postmarked missing you. It's got the biggest sky you've ever seen, the coldest beer you'd ever drink. But I still feel like I landed on the moon, 'cause it ain't got you. Houston, we got a problem. It's got the biggest sky you've ever seen, the coldest beer you'd ever drink. But I still feel like I landed on the moon, 'cause it ain't got you. Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem.
Houston, we got a problem. What do you think of that guy? Is he incredible or what?
He's awesome, but I ain't got no problems.
Well, you know, I just I love that song. I love that version of it. I tell you, who he's got it going on is those videos and the way the guy that's producing them is doing them. They're incredible.
Yeah. No, dude, he's the hottest thing. He's one of the hottest things out right now, I think.
That little guy with the glasses and the little beanie, we got to get him over here.
He looks like that guy. You couldn't draw a guy to look better than that guy. He looks like the position that he's doing.
Sid Michael's in studio with us. Sid Michael is in studio with us, and we are talking all things business. As always, we appreciate having you along in the new slot here on the afternoon drive right here in West Tennessee. Hopefully you're making your way home, and if you're just now joining us, that's okay. We got you covered. We have a replay tomorrow morning from 9 to 11 right here on 93.1. Or as always, you can just head on over to iHeartRadio.com. Download the app to your phone, type it in. They'll shoot you a message every week when the show's up. Or if you have an iPhone, you can basically find us anywhere.
All the listeners heard him correct himself after he said the S.
It's Sid Michael is. I'm just correcting it to be over-exaggerating.
You can edit it out again like you do.
I don't edit it out.
Dude.
He believes that when I replay it back to him, I've like altered it.
I listened to you alter it.
Totally ridiculous. Talking about business and life and getting your way out of the work. I mean, how about that? I'm going to tell everyone that's listening, you don't know how much work I put into the work whistle.
I do know how much, because I had to listen to you re-record it every 7 seconds until you got it right. And I think you did an excellent job. And I'm excited. And that's why I call it the woo whistle, baby.
Woo! We're jacked up here. But, you know, that's the thing about it is it's like it's just a way to set the mood for the weekend. Maybe the rain's holding off. You head out to the river and enjoy yourself, or maybe you do a little barbecue, or maybe you come by a car.
This ain't West Virginia.
What?
Yeah, they pick over the river here too.
Yeah, heck yeah, right over to the Tennessee River.
That's what I'm talking about.
You've been over there, Perryville, with me.
You know what I think's the coolest thing about this area?
What's that?
And a lot of people don't know this, right? It's the music. Like it's you got to realize, like, the blues came out of Mississippi. Like, you know, like
Muscle Shoals, Memphis, down to top of Arkansas. Yeah, we're in the prime time.
Yeah, this whole little area right here. It's just, I mean, people have it in their soul, and you can hear it.
Well, and I think that goes back to
I mean, even
Elvis
the open
and,
mic nights are cool.
Yeah.
Did you see that Elvis thing I sent you today?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it.
You never do.
Well, I'm bad about that, but I do sometimes.
Oh, well, you send yours. You tag me and send yours all the time. Expect everybody to watch yours.
Well, I think that our friendship's kind of a one-way street.
It is. It's like Spring Street in Atlanta, one way.
We're talking about all things business, and we were chatting before the break about life and about Sid grew up, born and raised in Atlanta, and now Air Choice One provides flights right out of Jackson to Atlanta. So Sid was giving us the rundown on the places to go and the people to see. But one of the things that we haven't got today yet is the Sid secret sauce. Is it still brewing, or is it ready to be served?
Oh, it's brewing. How does Air Force One come down here and give everybody rides to Atlanta?
It's Air Choice One. They're based right here in. Oh, you're saying I said something wrong again?
No, I just thought it would be nice to hear you re-say it.
We have a phone call over here. Hang on one second. Hello. Yes, Mr. FCC. Yeah. Oh, you're looking for someone to work with? Yeah, Sid would be great working for the FCC. Maybe you can. I mean, what
as long as it's not the FTC, we're partying, baby.
Well, so tell us about. We were chatting about Atlanta, things to do, places to go. What do you think the biggest difference between Atlanta and West Tennessee is? People are similar.
Yeah.
They're all nice.
Yeah. Well, I've always loved Tennessee, man. I've never, I did the Corvette shows in Knoxville back in the 90s.
Well, see, if you're from Tennessee, it's Knoxville.
Okay. All right. Well.
And, one other thing that we have one of the funny parts is our national service director. His name's Larry. And Larry is, he's from over in Knoxville. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he always talks about is, because, of course, service is his line of work. And my boss will always say, Larry, you going to get any of them tars?
Tars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that in West Virginia, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I grew up in the tar business.
Yeah, the tar business.
My great-grandfather worked at General Tire.
Yeah.
My grandfather, my dad, my uncle all worked at General Tire. Then they worked at a place called Butcher Tire.
Yeah, I didn't call you out when you were going, I was assistant manager. I was like, your family owned it, dude. You're 9.
Well, I still had a name tag and everything.
Check
out the name tag.
They gave you that just so you'd go to work on Saturday.
Well, I'll tell you, but the tire business changed a lot when all-season tires came out. Back then, like when you'd get a little snow, people went from their summer treads to their winter.
Yeah.
It was like madhouse.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. Like, I remember he had all hands on deck when that was going on.
Oh, man, I bet they wanted to strangle the tire salesman that came and introduced all-season tires.
Right.
Get out of here. You ain't welcome.
Something else that you don't see in West Tennessee is studs. You know about studded tires?
They make studded tires? I heard of snow chains.
No, we stud them. So we have a stud gun. Basically, it's a little piece of metal.
Yeah.
And you'd have an air gun, and you literally hold it up to the tire, you press the button, and it shoots this stud, and then the stud's a metal, basically, spike that sticks back out.
Sounded awesome coming down the road.
Well, that's the thing. There's a certain date in West Virginia. By a certain time, you have to have the studs out.
Oh.
Because, I mean, obviously it's bad for the roads.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's what I noticed. And, and obviously in Atlanta, we're not good with snow, because we don't have the equipment. I mean, all that equipment that removes the snow, it comes from North Carolina.
Right.
First off, all right? So that's why people got screwed in the snow in Atlanta. But what blew me away when I first went to West Virginia and they had like a record snow day, I've never seen that. It was like powder. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
See, I'm used to slush and mush and mush, and you couldn't do anything but maybe get out of school for the day, Like when it was actually like powdered snow, it was gorgeous, man.
Well, the key to that is that it's got to be about 32 degrees, just the right temperature for a doozy.
A doozy. Is that what y'all call it, a doozy? Well, I
that's when you get the nice big fluffy flakes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like it when it's too hot outside, but I still don't know why even humans settled where it's Arctic like that.
Well, I think back then it made more sense because you got to think that we're talking about a time where there's no AC.
Yeah.
So being up north, I mean, it's easy to throw a log in the fire and get it the right temperature. And if it's too hot, you just open the window. But it's a lot harder when there's no AC. And what are they hanging out in the ice caverns? I mean,
yeah, probably. I mean, some people do. I mean,
what'd they do in Atlanta when you were a kid back in the 30s? That had to be interesting.
Back before baseball, They just put a big old bucket of ice in front of a fan and called it air conditioning.
Maybe you know about this. Let's see if you paid attention in history class. What happened with the whole Atlanta burning in the underground?
The burning has nothing to do with the underground.
I thought that's how they built it, was like that it was because they built the city on top of the city.
I mean, that would probably make sense in whatever story you were making up when you were telling somebody that.
It's just what I've
never
happened.
heard that in my life.
So what's the underground then?
I have no idea about the underground, but I can tell you when it got burned, when Sherman Williams, or who is it?
the paint guy?
Yeah, when the paint guy. No, it was General Sherman. I don't even remember his
You've
name
been
now.
struggling with this for days.
I have. It messed me up the other day. That's why you're bringing it up, because you knew I was going to say that. We got to cut.
Oh, there's no cutting. General Sherman Williams burned down Atlanta.
It was Sherman, General Sherman.
I literally thought that's what the underground was.
No, well, I'll find out, but I don't think that's what it was.
We're gonna get a fact check. He's gonna get back to us on that.
I can't. I got 1% in my bag.
You still got the secret sauce brewing or what?
Well, you done blacked out the secret sauce, buddy.
Oh man, we hope you all are having as much fun as we are. It's
Friday.
It's Friday.
How can you not have fun?
Yeah, we're having a good time, and hopefully everyone's got some fun.
Are you going to
correct me?
Correct me on what general was it?
I don't know.
It was Sherwin. Sherwin.
We have no idea, but I promise this: that on the break, I'm going to find out what
Sherman.
I'm going to find out if it was General Sherman Williams or maybe it was Lieutenant Benjamin Moore. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back right after this.
So funny.
You're listening to Strictly Business with Chase Channel. Thanks for listening to 93.1 WTJS, the talk of Jackson. Don't go anywhere. Chase will be back right after this.
Taking care of business. Taking care of business.
It's the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event, and it's the best time to buy at Victory Honda of Jackson. From now through the end of the month, you can drive home any select vehicle in stock, and you won't have to make a payment until 2019. That's right, no payments until next year. Plus, we'll give you 125% of the book value for your trade-in. For complete details, visit victoryhondajackson.com. Then come into Victory Honda on Highway 45 Bypass and drive home a brand new Honda and make no payments until 2019. And get 125% of the book value for your trade. But hurry, this won't last long. Come in today for the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event at Victory Honda.
With approved credit through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Payments deferred by lender. Offer valid on select models. Offer does not combine. Plus tax, title, license, and $4.99 doc fees. 125% of the Black Book wholesale value minus restocking, reconditioning, and mileage fees. Subject to a clean Carfax report. Not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 6/30/18.
Me better when I'm with you.
You're listening to the Talk of Jackson. For the hottest shows in the Hub City, keep it locked right here on 93.1 WTJS.
Creole Williams lived down a dirt road. He made homemade wine like nobody I know. I dropped by one Friday night and said, can you help me, Creole? I got a little girl waiting on me and I want to treat her right. He said, I got what you need, son, as we step down in the cellar. He reached through the cobweb as he turned on the light. He said, there might be a little dust on the bottom, but don't let it fool you about what's inside. There might be a little dust on the bottom, but it's one of those things that gets sweeter with time. You were sitting in the porch swing as I pulled up the driveway. My old heart was racing as you climbed inside. You slid over real close and we drove down to the lake road. Watched the sun fade in that big red sky. I reached under the front seat and said, now here's something special. It's just been waiting for a night like tonight. There might be a little dust on the bottom, but don't let it fool you about what's inside. There might be a little dust on the bottom, but it's one of those things that gets sweeter with time. You're still with me, and we've made some memories. After all these years, there's one thing I found. Some say good love, well, it's like a fine wine. It keeps getting better as the days go by. But there might be a little dust on the bottom, but don't let it fool you about what's inside. There might be a little dust on the bottom, but it's one of those things that gets sweeter with time. There might be a little dust on the bottom, but don't let it fool you about what's inside. There might be a little dust on the bottom, but it's one of those things that gets sweeter with time. Don't let it fool
A little dust on the bottle, David Lee Murphy.
At least you said it right.
Well, you know, tongue twister today. Sid Michael is with us in studio, and we're talking about life, business, and the things you want to hear about. If you want to get in on the action and give us some topics or things you want to hear about, head over to facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show. Or you can always just shoot us in a text message if you want to the Victory Honda text line. That number is 731-215-0158. What do you think of that song?
I love that song. You know what? I saw an interview on YouTube with him, and it was just cool, man. The guy was cool. Dude, he's timeless.
He's super cool.
He's very cool. No ego. Lets Kenny, sing his songs whenever he needs.
One of the cool things about him is he has a brand new song out called "Everything's Gonna Be All Right" with Kenny Chesney, and guess what? Hit #1 on the charts.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't doubt it because he's a hit-making fool.
What people don't realize is how many songs he's wrote and been a part of. I mean, he's a talented dude.
Yeah, same with Jamie Johnson and Chris Stapleton. A lot of people have no clue that he wrote.
It says the gap between Murphy's #1s is the second longest ever on the country airplay chart, which launched January 20, 1990. Vince Gill holds the record, having returned to the Penthouse when Chris Young's Sober Saturday Night featured Gill, crowned the March 18, 2017 dated chart 23 years and 1 week after his own Trying to Get Over You. I can't believe Vince Gill didn't have a #1 from 1994 till 2017.
Vince Gill's a stud, man.
You know what else? He's got a lot of guitars.
Yeah, he does. He lost a bunch of them in that flood, though. Did you know that?
Yeah, the flood in Nashville, right?
I'll tell you a music fact that nobody will ever believe.
Hit us with it.
Did you know Aerosmith never had a #1 song until that Armageddon movie?
And then it was, what is that? Sing it for us.
I can't remember. It was around your time that you were listening to that song.
Don't want to close my... That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was their first #1 hit.
I can't really hit the... I'm more of a baritone.
Who thought that Aerosmith didn't have a #1 hit until then?
Were you an Aerosmith fan?
Of course I was.
So let me just ask you a couple questions.
First rock band that got me into music was Kiss.
I was just about to say Kiss or Aerosmith.
Yeah, well, then I was a massive Motley Crue fan who was influenced by Aerosmith. And, dude, I mean, they're awesome. I mean, come on.
Who's the best rock band of the 80s?
Of the 80s? Motley Crue. Hands down for me.
What about the 90s?
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, huh?
To this day, Foo Fighters.
You watch them at Chastain?
They don't play Chastain.
What was the place they played? Piedmont?
Oh yeah. Well, they played. Because they played Piedmont one time. Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you right now, the best live rock band in history is the Foo Fighters.
Really,
dude? I mean, blow you away. I saw them at Fenway Park too.
What's their best song? I don't even know what they sing.
you would be blown away at how many songs they have. You just don't know it. Dave Grohl is the ultimate rocker of all times. He's just a good dude. He's funny. He's talented. I mean, his whole band is absolutely just next level talent. I mean, you know, he was the drummer for Nirvana.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you weren't born then, I don't think.
Well, you know, we had more interesting groups growing up, like Justin Bieber and. I'm kidding. I was a little bit before then, but
Belle Biv DeVoe.
I remember watching. This is what's crazy is when I'm old, right? This is a memory I'll share with my grandkids. I'll say I remember when Justin Bieber just made it big on YouTube. I mean, think about that. Like when my grandfather sat me down as a kid and said, like, I remember this. I mean, it was from the 30s.
I respect Justin Bieber for what he did.
He's a talented kid.
But do you know who I think the most talented in that age group or that release, that area, that time?
Who?
Who's the girl that's really popular?
Well, you don't even know her?
I'm forgetting names.
Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift, yes.
Jeez, I'm just having to drag you along over here.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the help.
The most talented, but you can't remember.
Dude, well.
Did you come up with the general's name on while we were on break?
Oh, at least we didn't hear dust on the bottom.
You got the Sid secret sauce ready or what?
I'm not giving the secret sauce today. I want to finish about Taylor Swift.
Okay,
go ahead. Dude, you know
the stage is yours.
Well, they allowed her to actually talk about it, or they allowed her to like have creative freedom. People don't realize, man, when you start crunching people's creative freedom, even in business, even in work, even at Victory Honda, when somebody's being creative, let them go, man. Let them spin. Let them go wild.
You're a creative guy, creative mind.
I am creative.
I just miss that. I guess I have a little creativity. I enjoy the like, especially when like the 5 o'clock whistle and the.
Straight up, here's the truth. Every single kid born is an artist until they're told they're not.
Guess who the general was?
I didn't look it up. Did you look it up?
I looked it up. You were close.
Sure.
It was William T. Sherman.
Sherman. Okay. Well, see, I was
so
close. So
you were close. And really, you had Sherman and William. So had you really just had it. You're dyslexic. You just didn't know it.
I am very dyslexic. Thank you. You noticed that.
Wonder if, do you think he had like some paint stirs that he went after him with?
he was long gone before you could sue him, right?
I've sold a lot of paint in my life. And I mixed a lot of paint cans.
And you had to look it up.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, it obviously wasn't named after him.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, they just swapped the name around. It's probably some sort of angle.
Maybe. You think the Illuminati's involved?
Definitely.
You think they own Taco Bell, or is that just...
I think Lee Roberts owns it.
Lee Roberts owns Taco Bell. Interesting.
Lee E. Roberts.
Robert E. Lee. You crazy. Sid Michael's hanging out with us. Sid Michael is hanging out with us. It's the exact same thing.
Dude, you keep saying the S, man, and I love it because we had hundreds of people call in.
We're going to go to the Victory Honda text line. We have a text that just came in. It says he's saying Sid Michael. So there you go. Back down. The public has spoken.
I doubt it.
You got to give us the sauce, man. We only have a few minutes left. Everyone's had a nice time. We've eased them into the weekend. Now we got to send them off on the Sid Secret Sauce.
Secret sauce, you got to give me a topic, man.
It's the weekly secret sauce. Can we get a little energy, a little energized?
I'm always full of energy, but what you want to talk about? Motivation? What keeps you motivated?
Well, I think that first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying Sid's one of the most positive and motivated people that I've ever met, and I think that's something a lot of people struggle with. You wake up in the morning, you're feeling hazy, things aren't going your way. You're like, well, how's the day going to go?
Where can they go and see how we wake up in the morning?
Well, they can head over to Facebook.com, and I'm sure we can share the video right over to the Chase Channel Show page. So Facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show, and you can watch a video. It's not censored, so make sure that if you're underage, you plug your ears.
Oh, because I said a bad one. Yeah.
Well, it's okay. Facebook, you're allowed to say what you want to say.
Is your mom going to get mad at me when she hears it?
No, she won't.
Because my mom would.
Here's the funny thing is my mom, guess how she used to wake me up?
How?
She wouldn't. She'd just start vacuuming, slamming it into the door while you're sleeping. Just coincidentally, the hardwood floors needed vacuuming,
You know Jason Ames, my buddy, right?
Yeah.
He said when his mom would wake him up, he had a brother named Tim and Brian. He said his mom would wake him up like this. Tim, honey, get up. Brian, get up. Jason!
Maybe he was a hard sleeper.
You know he was. Stubborn's what he was.
Yeah, Mom gets all the curtains opened up, lets the light in, starts doing the vacuuming. Like, Mom, can I sleep alone? Well, of course, yes. Sleep
well,
alone.
some people like to sleep all day.
Well, I will say this, that over time, I'm a lot more. I mean, you remember when I was far from a morning person. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
No, you're a good morning person. I had you melt down once this week, but other than that,
I do better.
Yeah.
One small meltdown. So give us the sauce. How do you stay positive, Sid?
Man, I don't know how to tell you.
You got 2 or 3 minutes. The stage is yours. Don't mess it up.
I don't know how to tell you, man.
It's just magnetic. It just flows.
Pretty much. It. You know what it is? It's mind hacking. It's garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Seriously. Like, it's the way you receive something. If somebody says, hey, nice shirt, and you hear, nice shirt, thank you, man. I like the shirt too. Or if you hear, nice shirt, yeah, well, up yours or whatever, pass on you or whatever, whatever, mad at them. There's 2 ways that you can receive information. And the way that you take in that information is a result of your motivation and attitude every single day.
That's an interesting take on it.
It is. It's the way you hear things and the way you take things in. It'll make you sick.
Well, it looks like we're out of time for this week. I just want to say thanks to all the listeners for getting us to prime time. We finally hit the big time, Sid. Do you think Mama's proud?
I know Mama's proud.
Yeah, she's proud. But we seriously, the show's for the listeners, and we appreciate you.
How much time we got?
I mean, we got a little time. Go
Hey,
ahead.
you remember when I took you to Manhattan?
Yes.
How cool was that?
It was really cool.
Right? New York, right?
Yeah.
We went to this hookah bar. And it was right when Facebook first came out.
Yeah.
And so Chase just tried one time with this Apple tobacco hookah. His mother saw the picture and was in the car halfway to New York to come snatch him out of there.
She thought I was like hitting a bong or something.
She thought you were smoking weed.
Yeah.
We're just being cultured, right?
Yeah.
Learning what a hookah bar was.
Life in New York. Yeah, mom doesn't yeah. Well, I'm like, what's that Mama said? My mom, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah. My mama said.
Well, we hope everyone enjoys the weekend. We appreciate you tagging along with us. If you're just now tuning in, don't worry. You can catch the replay tomorrow morning right here from 9 to 11 on 93.1. Or as always, you can, if you have an iPhone, just pull up the podcast, type in The Chase Channel Show, or on iHeartRadio.com, type in The Chase Channel Show. Thanks for listening, and until this time next time, we'll see you later.
Woo! Woo!
You've been listening to Strictly Business with Chase Channel. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to hear fresh new weekly episodes. For more, please visit facebook.com/The Chase Channel Show. That's facebook.com/The Chase Channel with 2 N's and 2 L's show. Until the same time next time, keep it right here on 93.1 WTJS, the Talk of Jackson.
event, and it's the best time to buy at Victory Honda of Jackson. From now through the end of the month, you can drive home any select vehicle in stock, and you won't have to make a payment until 2019. That's right, no payments until next year. Plus, we'll give you 125% of the book value for your trade-in. For complete details, visit VictoryHondaJackson.com. Then come into Victory Honda on Highway 45 Bypass and drive home a brand new Honda and make no payments until 2019 and get 125% of the book value for your trade. But hurry, this won't last long. Come in today for the Summer Blockbuster Sales Event at Victory Honda.
With approved credit through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Payments deferred by lender. Offer valid on select models. Offer does not combine. Plus tax, title, license, and $4.99 doc fees. 125% of the Black Book wholesale value minus restocking, reconditioning, and mileage fees. Subject to a clean Carfax report. Not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 6/30/18.
You're listening to the Talk of Jackson. For the hottest shows in the Hub City, keep it locked right here on 93.1 WTJS.
93.1 WTJS Alamo, the talk